Hey, what's up guys? I hope you're having a great day and welcome to another Cars 3 diecast review. Today we have Sterling, who's a very prominent new character in the movie. He's voiced by Nathan Fillion, and we'll get into more details regarding his appearance later on in the video. But now let's dive right in with the packaging and his general release. So he's pretty easy to find, at least for me. I've been able to find him at Target, Walgreens, and Walmart stores, and I think Toys R Us recently as well. He's in case C and a bunch of other cases as well, like a Target exclusive case, and I'll put the contents to case C and that Target exclusive case in the description below. But he should be pretty easy to find, which makes sense because he's a main character, and obviously the main characters are produced a lot because they're more desirable. So hopefully you can find him, and if you don't, then maybe you can resort to eBay or Amazon. Now it's okay if you don't find the single, because maybe you can find the 2-pack of him with Cruz Ramirez, and so I'll be showing that later on in the video as well. That version of him is identical to this one here in the single pack. Now moving on to the packaging, we have the usual Cars 3 logo with the simple, elegant red and black design. Of course, we have Sterling's name tag right there. On the back, we have Cars 3 Lightning McQueen, Natalie Certain, Paunchy Wipeout, Buck Bearingley, Jackson Storm, and Murray Clutchburn. I will be reviewing Paunchy in the near future. I just want to get all the variants of him because there are a couple. We have the black rims, then we have the yellow rims, and the prototype marketing image that shows him with black rims, and then the blue eyebrows, because he actually has not been released with those blue eyebrows just yet. So kind of a complicated review, and so I just kind of wanted to save that one for the end. But we have the description for Cars 3 right here. Blindsided by a new generation of piston cup racers, Lightning McQueen finds himself suddenly pushed out of the sport he loves. To get back on top, he will need the help of a young race technician, inspiration from the late fabulous Hudson Hornet, and guidance from a few old friends along the way. Alright, let's open Sterling up. So let's start the review by talking about Sterling's appearance and role in the movie. Now I won't go fully in depth with that because I'd run into spoilers. I don't want that to happen because even though a lot of you guys have seen the movie by now, for some people it does not come out until September. September 28th is the last possible release date for any country in the world. So that's pretty insane, and yeah, I just want to preserve the movie for you guys, and I will be talking about it with spoilers in my spoiler review, which will be coming out pretty soon. I just wanted to wait until I saw the movie again, which was Monday, so a couple days ago, and yeah, I just wanted to accumulate my thoughts, gather all of the necessary things to talk about for that spoiler review. So just give me some time to work on it because it'll be a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. Anyway though, Sterling is voiced by Nathan Fillion. He's a brand new character for Cars 3, and he owns the Rust-Eze company, so he's basically Lightning McQueen's boss. Now, whether or not they run into some disagreements, I'll leave that for you to watch the movie and see. But he definitely wants McQueen to have a bright future. He wants him to essentially become a brand. He wants him to have this awesome legacy where he can sell a bunch of products based on McQueen, even if he's not racing. Like he said in a trailer, his racing days may be coming to an end because every time McQueen loses, he damages himself, his reputation, essentially. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I'll show a couple pictures from the movie, from the trailers and whatnot, but the rest of it is kind of a spoiler topic or territory, I guess I should say. But I did like his character in the movie. It definitely brought another layer to it, so that was cool. And now let's talk about his releases. Obviously we had the single release that we just tore into, and then the 2-pack release with Cruz Ramirez, so pretty easy to find as well. I think maybe the single is a little harder to find find unless your store does not carry 2-packs. In that case, then the single would be easier to find. But for me, I usually can find the 2-pack in like any store I go into. The single is a little bit harder, but I'm finding that a little bit more often nowadays because the stores are moving on to the next cases. But anyway, now it's time to dive into the review of this awesome diecast. Not going to say character, and not because maybe he's a villain. I kind of predicted that he might be a villain, but I'm not going to say anything else. You guys can check out my speculation videos if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to hear my thoughts about Sterling. I'll leave the link to that video in the description below. It was a pretty big character reveal video with Natalie Certain and Miss Fritter. So he is this silver sports car, kind of like retro future because it looks kind of like an older design, but then again, it might be newer. Kind of looks like a Cadillac, but it is a fictional model that Disney and Pixar came up on their own. On the front grille here, we have an S, obviously standing for Sterling because he's kind of full of himself, he's rich, and he likes to put his own stuff on his body, so that kind of says an S right there, but it's hard to see. I like the expression. It matches him from the movie pretty well, so I do like that. I like the sparkle of the paint. That's really cool. It looks nice. I love the rims, the very wiry rims where there's a lot of spokes. I like that. It looks great. Now that also says Sterling right there. The R or the S is in red. My bad, I don't know what I'm thinking. But the S is in red and then the rest of it is Sterling. It's very hard to see because it's so small. Let's see if we can zoom in. There we go, that's pretty good. You guys can see the S at least. Kind of makes me think of Jackson Storm's blue S on the side of him. On the back here, you have the taillights and then his license plate, again, pretty full of himself, is Sterling. So he fit his whole name on there. Pretty sweet. And by the way, his last name is Dunn. That is not a spoiler for the movie because it's not even mentioned in the movie. It's actually in one of the books. So his last name's Dunn. Pretty simple right there. Here's the base if you're interested. Nothing too special, but at least it's detailed with all of the undercarriage stuff. And that's pretty much it. He's a very simple car, and I do like that about him. I actually really do like how he looks out of the package. I'm glad that I finally did the review of him. So there you go. That's pretty much all for him. But now it's time to compare him to a couple other cars I thought were rather similar. I mean, none of these are that similar at all because he's his own unique model. And usually whenever there's a new movie and they introduce all the new characters, they start with new molds as well. So we won't see too many repaints from Cars 1 or Cars 2 models, at least for a while until they get into the background characters. But it makes sense because models evolve, so we're not going to see a 2006 model appear in 2017 here. Although that might happen, they'll probably, update them to a 2017 Chevy Cruze versus a 2006 Chevy Malibu or whatever. I don't even know. But I think Chuck Manifold here, which is the blue car on the right, is the most similar in model. A very typical sedan right here. Now, Sterling is a coupe because he's only 2-door, whereas Chuck is 4-door. I believe that's the differentiating trait between a coupe and a sedan. But they are pretty similar in model. They're about the same length, as you can see right there, and same height as well. It looks like Chuck might be a little bit longer, at least from the back. It seems like Sterling kind of whittles down as you get toward the back of him. But they're kind of similar, right guys? Alright, let's move on to some silver coupes or sedans. Yeah, we have a couple coupes, couple sedans here. So this is one of the Autobahn Society sedans, Sedania Oskanian. So this girl, it's actually a girl I believe, looks pretty cool. Obviously they're both silver and that's why I want to compare them because they are very similar in color, like sterling silver. So pretty cool right there. I think I prefer Sterling though just because his model is a little bit more unique, whereas Sedania Oskanian I think was a repaint, I'm not entirely sure. The review of her is in the description below if you want to check that out. I also have Prince William here, who is a coupe, and now he's a little bit darker, the color is a little bit more off than Sedania, but still silver, or I guess more gray. Obviously, he is the Queen's grandson from Cars 2. Pretty rare release. He's a Bentley, by the way, based on a real car. I think that's one thing that they did very well with Cars 2 is that a lot of cars were based on real life cars, like you have Bentleys in there, Mercedes, Ferraris, Porsches, etc., etc. Whereas in the other two movies, there weren't as many cars based on real life cars, at least visibly. Here is an Audi TT, so again from Cars 2, a real life car. This is a coupe, one door on either side there, and the color is a little bit more off. Like I feel like Sedania and Sterling have the most similar colors, but these two are silver, but they're a little bit different. Like this is more flat, just kind of like gunmetal gray, I think. I don't know how to explain it. A little bit lighter. I actually really do like Jonathan Shifko right here. I think that's his name, yep. I forgot if I mentioned it already or not, but he's pretty cool. I like the Audis for sure. I love it when they release like an actual model car. Alright guys, so that's all for my review of Sterling. Here's how he looks with Cruz Ramirez and Lightning McQueen. I think they look pretty cool together. You have the red and then kind of the neutral in between there, and then the yellow right there. So very nice, a nice little trio from the movie. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time for another video, whatever it may be. I'm trying to work on another hunt video. It's about that time for another episode of The Hunt. I'm also obviously working on the spoiler review, and obviously more Cars 3 diecast reviews like the haulers and the multi-packs, and any new single that is released, which the next case G is appearing on eBay, and that case has Sig Alert and Taco. Those are two Demolition Derby contenders, and the fabulous Lightning McQueen. So we're kind of moving on from the Piston Cup racers, at least temporarily. We're moving on to some Demolition Derby contenders, which I'm always happy to see because we haven't gotten many yet besides just Dr. Damage and Miss Fritter. So I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye now.